One thing that people that are really close to me know is that I'm actually quite of a worrier. I'm actually quite a bit of a worrier. I worry about a lot of stuff. I'm always worrying about, what I could be doing better, what I'm doing to other people, things that are out of my control, like, oh, I'm gonna be late, oh, this is gonna affect me, oh, this is gonna ruin my plans, etc., etc., right? I'm always quite a bit of a warrior, and it's definitely been one of my most debilitating characteristics that I've exhibited growing up, right? My mom used to always comment, oh, why are you worrying so much? Or why are you worrying so much? Quit worrying, quit doing all of that, it's not necessary. And while I have gotten better at, handling situations that are outside of my control, it still comes back to me. It still comes back to me all the time. It's like, oh, well, why am I relaxing when I should be worrying about this? Oh, well, you don't really have time to relax. There's so much stuff that you need to do. It's like, why are you doing this? You need to always be on the grind, basically. I think that's a very simplified way of summing it up. But I've come to realize, things just kind of fall into place how they're meant to be. Things always just kind of fall into place, and all the worrying that I would be doing would be for no reason, because things would just end up working out. Everything falls in its right place. One of the most recent examples for me personally was my schooling. I'm actually about to be starting school soon, and I'm very happy about it. It's like, I'm very excited. I'm very thrilled to be on pursuit of something that I want to do. However, with anything that you're trying to do, there's always going to be some challenges that you have to face. One of those challenges for me, being in America, not having free schooling. Unfortunately, I live in a world where, schooling costs a lot of money, and that's why we typically see a lot of Americans taking out debt or taking in debt, right? Whether it be in the form of loans or credit cards, etc., right? And I've fortunately been able to get a lot of things without having to take in on debt, right? However, this school, that was going to be one of my main concerns. I was like, well, how am I going to pay for this? Oh, what am I going to be able to do? And it's like, because in my head, I didn't want to, right? Because no one wants to, right? Actually, I guess it's not true. There's some people who know how to deal with it better than I do. I didn't want to, right? Because I didn't want to have that on my conscience. I didn't want to have that on the back of my mind. It's like, oh, well, I got to pay this off forever and ever. And it's like, oh, well, things are always going to keep going up in prices. Things were not the same as when my parents were around, or even my grandparents. It's like, again, like I'm doing right now, just always worrying, right? But I came to realize, things will work out. Things just kind of have a way of working out. And I've been in contact with a lot of with my schools, like financial aid, and I realized, this is not as big of a deal as I originally thought it was going to be, which is another common theme for me. And I think with a lot of people who tend to worry, because you're constantly repeating things in your head, it seems a lot bigger than it actually is, right? It gets amplified, right? Because it's constantly echoing in your brain, if that's all you think about, of course the problem is going to be magnified to a much greater degree, all because you keep thinking about it, right? And you're worrying about it. But I chose to stop worrying about it, and a lot of solutions just ended up coming my way. And I have to keep reminding myself, things just end up working out because I chose to stop worrying about things. and just live in the present. Just live in the present. You know, I've been inactive for a while because, one, I've been busy, but two, I've had to learn a lot of stuff. You know, just dealing with the people around me, dealing with a lot of my own emotions, and it's hard. You know, I find myself constantly fluctuating between highs and lows, especially recently. Like, these past 2 weeks have been pretty hard for me. I won't lie. Even though I have a really strong support system, I'm realizing I still find myself going back into old ways, indulging in substances, you know, partaking in activities that just as a way to numb myself from the pain. And I've even kind of neglected myself as well. You know, I haven't really like gone outside as much as I have, at least to this degree. And, you know, just, you know, not working out as well. I say all this, right? I'm being very open and vulnerable because it's like, I worry about that too. You know, I think about last year, October, September, where I was like at my peak. You know, I was like kind of like, or not at my peak. That's when I first started my journey, where it was like, you know, I was constantly doing the things it is that I wanted to do. I was doing them consistently back to back to back, you know, and it's like without fail, basically. And whenever I find myself in a little drought, you know, I tend to worry, right? I tend to worry about, oh, well, what if like why are you doing this? You know, you need to be taking care of yourself. It's like, sometimes you just have to let the emotions flow through you. Just kind of have to let the emotions flow through you. I think that's one of the most important things that I've learned as myself. Because I used to sit with emotions a lot, which is why I used to worry a lot. Because I would sit with those emotions. I would sit with them. And I would let them fester and thrive. I would let that negative feeling thrive in my being, right? You know, like the anecdote I was just talking about, you know, like with school, right? Before, I would let that feeling of doubt, of worry, of just being scared, I would let that feeling thrive inside of me, and I would be in a state of a constant unrest. However, because I chose to let these feelings just flow through me, I found that these, you know, once these emotions passed, things weren't as big of a deal as they were. As they were in my head, as I originally perceived them to be. And sometimes it takes a while for emotions to just pass through you, right? Like me, for instance, you know, I've had some pretty rough recent experiences. You know, someone that I was with, we are no longer together. Some stuff with my parents, and, you know, also like with school and stuff, and other people coming back into my life, which has kind of caused a lot of different emotions to stir up within me, right? Emotions that I didn't really know how to handle, right? But you just have to let those feelings pass, because that's all it is. It's just a feeling. It's only temporary. It's only temporary. Once it passes, that's it. You don't gotta worry about it anymore. I guess at this point in the video, I'm mostly just talking to myself. You know, I find it hard. I found it a little bit hard to show up for myself, so I'm doing my best that I can to show up for myself. And to stop worrying. Stop worrying about things that aren't here yet. Understand that everything is going to be alright. As long as you just keep going. I think that's the best thing that I can say for myself right now. As long as you keep going, everything will be alright. And I hope that resonates with someone too. Maybe you're also in a state of unrest. Maybe you find yourself worrying constantly. I'm here to tell you, it's just an emotion. An emotion that will also pass. No rain lasts forever. There's no such thing as perpetual rain. Once it stops, the sun starts to shine again. Same thing with you. No emotions last forever. You just have to let it pass. And understand, no matter where you are in life, no matter what situation you might find yourself in, everything will be alright. As long as you allow yourself to know that. To sit in that energy. Knowing that everything's going to be alright. I think that's it for me. I hope that something that I said helped someone out there. You know, I'm a firm believer that you can't really help others unless you help yourself. And so that's what I'm trying to do right now. Trying to help myself so that I can get to a point where I can help others. This is part of it. Anyways, I love you. Hope you have an amazing rest of your day. Make sure to take care of yourself. But the only person who can take care of you is you. Have a good one.